did Little Rock Christian really put the t-shirt on the bear statue at school?
Nah.
What's up, everyone? It's Overtime Jess. So excited to be hosting the stars of our hit show To the House for a very special Overtime reunion. We've got Coach Kelley, Braden, and Jayden. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
Good.
Doing good.
First off, I need to address the fact that Jayden was the first person to join in on this Zoom. What's happening here? He's a changed man ever since he graduated, or what?
That's what happens to those guys. They graduate, they start working out harder, and they start doing everything right. Because they're not scared of me, they're scared of their new coaches.
Had to turn over a new leaf.
Exactly. Good for you. How have you guys been the past few months? There's obviously been a lot going on. What have you all been up to?
Working out a bunch, getting ready for college ball, just trying to stay safe out here with everything that's going on.
Yeah, I moved up to Fayetteville back in late June and just been up here working out.
Trying to get the team ready for next year, what we've got left of it, and, new guys coming in, and took a little mini vacation out to Las Vegas before it got crowded.
Okay, good for you. I see. Does everything really stay in Vegas, or?
I told Steve I got my first street recognition for the show. Somebody walked up to me and they're like,
No.
are you on the Overtime show? Are you that coach? And I said, yeah. I've never had that, street recognition for a show before. I thought that was kind of cool.
That is awesome. Did you sign some autographs, take some photos?
Took some photos, yeah.
Wow, good for you. I'm talking with a couple of real life celebrities over here. So everyone who watched the show wants to know what's next for you guys. Coach Kelley, we'll start with you. What's next for you?
Every day just coming to work, but how to put a team together in this time, and then how to put it together, and what did we learn from last year as coaches that we can do better this year, and those kinds of things. And then maybe looking and seeing, I don't know, what's next in life if I decide I ever want to quit high school football.
Braden, at Arkansas, you're going to be playing preseason football. How's that been going for you?
Right when we moved up here, it was just freshman workouts, and all the freshmen were together. And the past couple of weeks, we've been with the older guys, actually being able to do football stuff and have real live practices with football. No coaches still, but that I think gets picked back up next week.
Jayden, what about you? You're over at Central Arkansas. What's preseason football been like for you?
So I actually haven't gone up there yet. We've had to push our deadlines back for whenever we're supposed to report. And so as of right now, they said we're supposed to be reporting next Friday, but that's still kind of up in the air. So I've just been working out, just waiting for a date to go up there.
So have you guys had your first college camps yet?
I started training with my team. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how would you compare that to training under Coach Kelley?
Workouts are not as tough, but that's because we get to, guide them on our own and weight lift on our own. The strength coaches are pretty intense. They're always on you, yelling and stuff. So it's just a lot different than high school football.
And Jessica, the hard part that y'all won't see because Steve wasn't here in the summer is, as difficult as I can be on the field, in the weight room, we go just the opposite, and we give the players their workout. We let them have the individualism, and they're kind of helping and coaching each other, and we're never yelling at them in the weight room or on them or pushing them or anything like that.
The guys keep mentioning Steve. For those of you who don't know, Steve was our producer and editor for To the House. He did an amazing job, as you could tell. Even then, Braden did say that training at Arkansas isn't as difficult as training at PA. Did you hear that, Coach? Are you proud of that?
I don't know, not really. I don't know what he means by that, unless it's talking about just being out on the turf in the heat. I don't know what he could be going with, because I know those strength coaches up there, and really at every university, are crazy. And I can't wait till
the strength coaches up here are crazy. The training's definitely harder up here.
All right, so let's dive a little bit into the 2019 season, because it was obviously crazy. So many different moments that we can choose from to touch on our favorite moments. We'll start with Coach, then we'll get into your guys' senior seasons. To talk about my favorite moments, I would say I have a couple. I have Joe Hyman with his 2 kickoff returns in 1 quarter. It was amazing. Then I also have D lineman Matthew Hugg showing out for his brother with 3 sacks, 6 tackles. He was great to watch. Loved that episode in particular. Coach, what would you say were some of your favorite moments?
Both of the ones you said are great. Obviously, both of those are the one that's in my top would be that you said was Matthew Huggs. And the kids usually say, they've told me before, they think he's one of my favorites or whatever. And that's just because he just never asks for anything and works hard. But that was a great moment because I was on the field getting ready for a playoff game 10 years ago here when we got the news about his brother. And so that was it put it all together for me because I experienced the not the exact same emotions as Matthew, but for a playoff game 10 years ago, kind of the same thing. So for me and him and knowing his family and what all he's been through, that was right up there too. And the end of the state championship game, because Jayden and Braden can tell you how hard it was for their class to lose last year. And man, I hated that for them because what everybody didn't get is we had won 4 in a row and they were part of a team that lost. And the pressure that comes with that's really, really big. Even though we weren't disappointed in them, they were so down about that loss that I was really, really happy just at the experience of happiness they got to feel the moment we won.
Braden and Jayden, let's dive into that for a second. How special was it as seniors to go out with a state ring, especially after losing in your junior year in the 2018 final?
Yeah, it was definitely very relieving because, we were hearing all this talk about how, we were falling off the cliff and stuff, and we weren't the same as we were whenever we lost. And to just win again and have that almost type of redemption, especially coming against Little Rock Christian, who we had lost to the year before, it just felt good. And then for us to go off on top like that was just a great feeling.
The feeling after was just a big sense of relief from the year before as we lost, and seeing those seniors go out with the loss it wasn't a good feeling. I couldn't imagine how they felt. So it was very good. The way we won was even better. How we lost in the regular season and how that game went, being able to come back and redeem ourselves and just kind of show them what we're about was a great feeling. And just seeing the team so excited and happy and the fans was awesome.
I always say that's the best part of the whole season is looking at the kids' faces at the end of the year, the moment they realize that we've won. Or this year, all year in Jayden's season, and he had some injuries. And what I loved was in the state championship game, man, he had a great game too. And, I trusted him. I don't call go route. And the only 2 we ran this year were to Jayden Kelley because I trust him to go out there and get the football. And I thought he had his best game at the end, and I thought Braden did too. So for me as a coach, watching 2 guys that were stressed with cameras following them around all year come out and in that game shine, I thought that was a really cool story for me too.
Braden, let's talk a little bit more about your senior season, dive a little bit deeper. You got hurt in the quarterfinals. How close did you get to thinking your career was over?
It entered my mind for a minute, but at that moment I was like, shoot, I may not be able to play the rest of this game or the semifinals game. But after a little bit, I knew I was going to be able to play.
Jayden, we'll go back to you for a second. After an up and down season, you battle through it and you come up with some huge plays in the state final. Coach kind of mentioned it a little bit. What did those moments mean to you in the game with the most pressure out of the entire season?
That definitely felt good because of how rocky I was with playing, making it count in the game that mattered the most and coming up big. That was the biggest game of the season for us, state championship game, and making plays to help us win the game. That definitely made me feel great about finishing off the season and how my senior season ended.
One thing that's cool when you watch the episodes is scrolling through the comments and seeing who people choose as their favorites based on what we've shown, what they've seen from these guys. Who would you guys say are some of the unsung heroes of your state title run?
The guys that don't ever get seen is the defensive and offensive line guys, blocking so these 2 guys can catch balls and run balls and that kind of stuff. And those guys are and everybody talks about it, it's cliche, but they're the unsung heroes. But without those guys, and they played really well all year long for us, without those guys, we don't have a chance.
Braden, who would you choose as your unsung heroes?
No, I agree. You can't go wrong with offensive line and defensive line. It starts with them and it ends with them. So they busted it all the year long for me and for Jayden and all the guys in the backfield.
Jayden, anyone in particular?
No one specifically, but I'd say our defense, because there are times whenever our offense was struggling, and they did struggle earlier in the year, but did a good job of helping us out whenever the offense wasn't doing too well.
What about one of our defensive stars, Fuda?
He wasn't unsung, for sure. He was definitely sung, but, everybody loves Fuda. He's literally the smallest guy that starts on our team. and probably gets his name called more than anybody because he's always in on a tackle. But what a kid that just doesn't think about size and just goes out there and plays big. You know, it's the small kid playing big things.
And Coach, Jayden mentioned Savannah a little bit, but can you dive a little deeper into how you saw her evolve over the season?
You know, I don't think any of us even realize how difficult that has to be. I mean, me, the guys, because, you know, you're the only girl, and all she ever said was, I want to be treated the same as everybody. She told me that since last January when she and I would be out there kicking balls on the field and doing all that kind of stuff. And I don't think anybody realizes how hard that was for her. And for her to do all that, and then with all the pressure and be able to perform at the level she did in a game that's not natural to her, speaks volume about her as character, but it's just a great, great story that I'm glad you guys told.
Let's jump into the fact that you guys not only were playing a full season of football, but you had your own show. How was it being filmed? Give us all the tea. Coach, we'll start with you.
It was weird. I've been filmed for 3 and 4 days before, but not an entire season. And then Steve would also, you know, the guys got followed around at practice and some during the day and some after practice. You know, a lot of coaches called me when they heard about it, and they're like, man, I can't believe you're going to give them access. I mean, how much do you restrict? And I said, I gave them total access. You know, how good a kids do you have to be able to trust the camera there all the time that they're not going to catch something, you know, terrible at times.
Braden, how was it being filmed for you?
It was definitely an experience that we'll remember forever. But like Coach said, Steve made it easy for us. He was awesome. He fit in right there with us, and there's definitely some awkward times where during school he'd be following you around. But other than that, no, Steve made it easy.
High school quarterback, and you have a camera following you around. You had to felt like a hardcore celebrity.
I don't know about that.
And Jayden, you're a little bit more of a quiet guy. Was it weird for you? Was it kind of comfortable, oddly enough?
It was definitely kind of out of my comfort zone a little bit to have to like talk a whole bunch and stuff like that. After a while, when I became like closer with Steve and we developed a friendship, it was easier for me to talk to him and like with the interviews and stuff like that.
I mean, ultimately, you guys killed it handling the added pressure of the cameras, killing it out on the field. What do you think was the key to all of that, Coach Kelley?
I think the fact that they were a good group of kids. And I think they feed off of each other at times. I think they're really, really good about picking each other up. I think our great guys surrounding them made all the difference in the world.
Coach Kelley, 200 wins. What was going through your mind when Coach Belichick shows up on the Jumbotron to surprise you and congratulate you?
You know, the cool thing was I didn't pay attention until about 2 weeks before. I think somebody had mentioned that it was 200 wins. I had no idea until Coach Wyatt, one of our defensive coordinators, got the mic at the end of the game and said that was the fastest of 200. I didn't know until that moment. So I'm there and the 200 win thing pops up, and then, you know, I'm friends with Coach Belichick, so it didn't surprise me. But what to me was kind of cool was all the players were sitting there and he got to address, you know, I hope you guys have the best of luck the rest of the year. Good luck towards trying to win another championship.
Good luck to the Bruins and their quest for another championship. So proud of all that you and the team have done, and want to wish you the best in the playoffs coming up.
You know, and I think it's cool that they knew that he knows about them. I thought that was pretty cool too.
I need to know one last thing. Did Little Rock Christian really put the t-shirt on the bear statue at school?
100%.
I think they did, yeah.
No, 100% they did, yeah. I'm rooming with the guy from Little Rock Christian right now, and he said that they did.
He did good, because everybody's talking about, you know, I got even sent a bunch of, you know, some emails and stuff. Coach Kelley, we know you put that jersey on there. I don't create that. These guys can tell you, I don't do bulletin board stuff, you know, that kind of. I would never go through the trouble of doing that. I got too much other crap to do rather than find a Little Rock Christian jersey and put on there. So I am glad to know that they did that, Braden. But I assumed they did, but I know I didn't.
We've got some confirmation finally. For the players, though, did you guys have any suspicions at first? Did you think it was Coach?
It ran through my mind. I was like, maybe he's doing it to motivate us. But then I was like, nah, he didn't have enough time to do that.
I didn't ever think that it was Coach at all. That definitely seems like something they would do.
I love it. I'm so glad that we finally got this confirmation that we've been hoping for. But Coach Kelley, Braden, and Jayden, thank you guys so much for joining us for this little reunion we had going on. Good luck in your upcoming seasons, and we'll see you all soon.
Thank you. You guys were awesome. Everybody y'all brought down the whole time was fantastic, and we'd welcome you guys again.
Oh my God, this new overtime cut sleeve is perfect for running. Feel so free. Go get yours right now. Click the link in the bio, check out these videos, and subscribe. See ya.